Did you know that escalating nightmare dungeons are currently one of the best places to farm almost every important resource in Diablo 4? I am talking about millions of gold, massive amounts of gem fragments, a full inventory of murmuring obols, and plenty of crafting material, all from the same escalation sigil. Most players are still farming these resources separately. They farm one activity for gold, another place for gems, and then run something completely different for material and obols. But with the correct war plan set up, escalating nightmare dungeons can give you everything in one farming loop. But before we continue, this video is sponsored by Senior Unlocks. If you want to instantly stack your character with gold, runes, gems, boss material, or even speed up your paragon leveling, check out seniorsunlock.com. They offer plenty of options for Diablo 4, Path of Exile 2, and more. With multiple gaming platforms with fast delivery around 20 minutes, with a 4.9 star rating on Trustpilot. The link is in the description, and use code DCSK at checkout to get 5% off your order for a limited time. So in this video, I will show you how this farm works, which war plans node you should use, and how to target the exact resource you need. First, you will need an escalation sigil. You can obtain escalation sigils from Nightmare Dungeons, Horadric Strong Room, or by combining 5 regular Nightmare Dungeon sigil through the Horadric Cube. Once you have one, activate it and begin the escalating Nightmare Dungeon chain. An escalation sigil contains multiple connected Nightmare Dungeons. After completing each dungeon, you will be given several portals to choose from, and each portal can provide a different reserve reward. This is where the farm becomes extremely powerful. Depending on what appears, you may find a gem fragment reserve, gold reserve, obol reserve, or material reserve. You simply choose the reserve based on whatever resource you need the most. But before starting the farm, you will want to prepare the correct Nightmare Dungeon activity skill tree inside war plans. The most important node is branching pathway. This node gives you more portal choices after completing an escalation layer. Instead of being stuck with only one random option, you will have a better chance of finding the exact reserve you are looking for. For example, if you need gem fragments, you can choose a gem fragment reserve. If you are running low on gold, choose the gold reserve. If you need obols for gambling at the curiosity vendor, choose the obol reserve. And if you are constantly running out of crafting material, choose the material reserve. The next important node is Dread Revival. This gives the final dungeon boss a chance to revive after you kill it. When this happens, you can kill the boss again and potentially receive another large reserve payout. So if you are inside a gold reserve dungeon, a revived boss may give you another huge amount of gold. The same thing can happen with gem fragments, obols, or material, depending on the reserve affix currently active inside the dungeon. This does not reset the reserve chest you already opened, but it can potentially repeat the boss reward, making Dread Revival one of the strongest nodes for this farming method. You should also take Recurring Nightmare. This helps you obtain more escalation sigil from Nightmare Dungeon bosses, making it easier to continue farming without constantly running out of sigils. Once your setup is ready, activate an escalation sigil, clear the first dungeon as quickly as possible, and then collect the rewards from whichever reserve affix is active. After killing the boss, look at the portal rewards and choose the resource reserve you need. If you don't see the exact reserve you are looking for, choose the most valuable options available and continue deeper into the escalation chain. The rewards improve significantly as you progress through each layer, so the second and third dungeons are usually where you will see the biggest payout. For example, with the gold reserve affix, the first layer might give around 5 million gold per chest. As you move deeper into the escalation, this increases steadily, reaching up to 50 million gold per chest on later layers. When you enter a reserve dungeon, do not rush directly toward the final boss. Fully explore the dungeon and watch your minimap for reserve chests. With the latest update, a chest icon now appears on your minimap when you are nearby, making it much easier to locate them and ensuring you don't miss any. These chests are the main source of the extra resource drop, and depending on your torment difficulty and escalation layer, each chest can give you a massive payout. For gem fragments reserve, you can receive hundreds of thousands of gem fragments from a single chest. On the third layer of escalation, a single chest can drop up to around 250,000 gem fragments. and the final boss can reward anywhere from 300,000 to over 1 million gem fragments depending on the floor. That's insane. When you add together all the chests and the final dungeon boss reward, one good escalation chain can give you millions of gem fragments. This is currently one of the fastest way to obtain enough fragments for crafting royal gems, grand gems, horror drake gems, and flawless horror drake gems. The higher the torment difficulty, the more gem fragments you can receive, with the rewards becoming especially strong from torment 10 and above. But always choose a difficulty that you can clear quickly. There is no point playing at the highest torment level if every dungeon takes you forever to complete. Speed is still more important than forcing yourself into a difficulty where enemies take too long to kill. Gold Reserve works in the same way. Open every reserve chest, as each one can give between 5 to 50 million gold depending on the floor, and then kill the final boss for a large payout that can exceed 30 million gold. If Dread Revival activate, kill the boss again for another chance at another massive gold reserve payout. This makes Escalating Nightmare Dungeon one of the best gold farms currently available, especially when the gold reserve appears in the final escalation layer. The deeper you are in the chain, the larger the reward can become. Obol Reserve is also extremely valuable, with each chest typically granting around 200 to 600 Obols depending on the floor. This makes it especially useful if you are hunting for legendary aspect or trying to gamble specific gear pieces from the Curiosity vendor. Before entering an Obol Reserve dungeon, make sure you spend your existing Obol first. The current Obols cap is very high, at 25,000, but a strong reserve run can still fill it surprisingly fast. If you are already close to the cap, spend your Obol before starting your run so you don't have to stop midway. So always check your Obol amount before starting the dungeon. Material Reserve is useful for players who are constantly running out of crafting resources. Instead of farming different activities for each individual material, you can collect a large amount from the reserve chest and dungeon boss while also earning normal Nightmare Dungeon reward. This means even if you are mainly targeting gold or gem, you will still be gaining experience, equipment, sigils, crafting material, and other endgame resources along the way. There are also additional warplan nodes you can use if you have enough skill points. Waking Spoils can provide another reward chest, while Gauntlet may create more opportunities for additional enemy or boss encounters. Or go with Horror Drake Hunter and Altar of Avarice if you are looking to farm Treasure Goblin. Since you are running Escalating Nightmare Dungeons and constantly killing a list enemy, you will eventually trigger additional Treasure Goblin spawn, letting you farm them alongside your main run. If you want to maximize that even further, I have already covered a full guide on the Horror Drake Hunter and Altar of Avarice combo to consistently spawn more Treasure Goblins, so make sure to check that video out after this one. However, Branching Pathway, Dread Revival, and Recurring Nightmare should be your main priorities for this farming setup. Branching Pathway helps you to find the reserve you need. Dread Revival can multiply the boss reward. Recurring Nightmare helps keep your escalation sigil supply going. Once you combine all three, Escalating Nightmare Dungeons become an extremely efficient all-in-one farming activity. Instead of farming gems in one dungeon, go somewhere else, or boss from another activity, and crafting material from a completely different source. You can target all of them through escalation sigils. Just choose the correct reserve, fully explore every dungeon, open every reserve chest, and always kill any revived boss. Personally, I recommend prioritizing Gem Fragment Reserve if you still need to craft or upgrade your endgame gems. After that, Gold Reserve is probably the most valuable general option, especially if you are spending millions on crafting, rerolling, and upgrade gear. Obol Reserve is great when you need to gamble for specific equipment slots, while Material Reserve is perfect when your crafting resources are running low. So the next time you obtain an escalation sigil, don't just rush through the dungeons and ignore the portal rewards. Set up your Nightmare Dungeon Warplan skill tree, choose the reserve you need, open every chest, and take advantage of Dread Revival whenever the boss comes back to life. This is currently one of the best ways to farm gold, gem fragments, obols, and crafting material, all from the same activity. If this guide helped you out, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Diablo 4 farming guides, hidden tricks, and Season 14 updates. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.